Welcome in this video. Can Zbcn coin continue to rise? We will analyze it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and please watch to the end to understand. When we examine the current outlook on the chart in detail, we can clearly see that the price has encountered strong resistance in a certain area. This resistance zone stands out as an area where the price's upward movements have stopped in the past, where sellers have intensified and buying demands have been suppressed. In technical analysis, resistance zones are formed when prices have previously reached a certain level and then retreated there with selling pressure. And these areas are usually psychological thresholds that traders watch carefully. Therefore, if the price breaks through this resistance level, it is not only a break of a technical line, but also a breakdown of psychological barriers in the market. In the current situation, the price has once again approached this resistance zone, and unlike previous attempts, this time it seems to be moving with a stronger momentum. This is an important development that increases the probability of breaking this zone. In particular, the repeated contacts to this level show that the resistance is now starting to tire and the price is coming to this level, each time forming a higher bottom. This is considered a very positive sign in technical analysis, because such repeated tests show that sellers are weakening and buyers are gaining courage. Resistance levels are often critical zones where an asset's bullish potential is tested and a decision is made. Therefore, if the price breaks this zone to the upside, it means a very strong buy signal in terms of technical analysis. Because with this breakout, buyers who were previously waiting in the market are encouraged, new buyers come into play, and the asset gains a stronger upward momentum. Especially if this breakout is supported by high volume, there's more confidence in the permanence of the upward movement. In the current outlook, the price's approach to this resistance zone offers a view that gives investors hope and creates a positive expectation. However, a break of this resistance zone does not only mean a short-term uptrend, but in the broader perspective, it also indicates that the price may start a new trend or strengthen the existing uptrend. In particular, breaking through such resistance zones is considered as the opening of a new door on the chart. In other words, after crossing this zone, the price starts to move in a more comfortable area with fewer obstacles. This allows traders to set bigger targets. In addition, resistance breakouts in technical analysis are often followed by a retest phase. This means that the price goes back and tests the broken level one more time. Once this test is successfully completed, meaning that the price is able to hold above the resistance zone it broke, this level now becomes a support. This puts the price on a firmer footing both psychologically and technically. In the current situation, the price approaching this resistance zone could be an important starting point for this scenario to materialize. In other words, if the price breaks this resistance and stays above it, the upward movement would be on a firmer footing. The positive consequences of this breakout are critical not only from a technical point of view, but also from an investor psychology perspective. Because resistance breakouts build confidence in investors. In particular, breaking levels that have not been crossed for a long time creates a feeling of a new era is beginning among market participants. This, in turn, usually leads to harder and steadier rises, often accompanied by an increase in volume. A break of the current resistance level could pave the way for exactly this kind of psychological transition. But we can't decide the analysis only with resistance. Let's look at other metrics. Stay tuned. When we carefully examine the price movements on the chart, we can say that there is currently a structure that is quite promising and contains positive signals in technical terms. Especially the price action observed in the recent period clearly shows us that the market wants to continue its upward trend and that the buying pressure is gaining strength. The rising top and rising bottom pattern, which is an important structure in technical analysis, seems to be slowly taking shape at the moment, which signals a strong rise in the coming period. First of all, the previous peak of the price, the last peak, is higher than the previous peak. This is called a higher high in technical analysis. And it's an important clue that the market is either trending upwards or looking to continue its current uptrend. Such tops indicate that market participants are willing to buy at increasingly higher levels, and the general direction is up. Currently, the price is in a pullback phase after this bullish top and is trying to form a new bottom. However, the most important point to note is this. If this new bottom is higher than the previous bottom, then the higher low pattern in technical analysis will be completed. This is one of the building blocks of an uptrend. So, if an asset is making both rising highs and rising lows, this indicates that a technically strong uptrend is underway. Looking at the current picture, we can predict that the price is making an effort to form a higher low, and if this process is successful, a much stronger uptrend could begin. Such technical structures can reflect not only short-term movements, but also potential trend reversals in the more medium and longer term. This is because these shifts in market structure indicate that investor sentiment is also changing. If strong supports are being broken at previous lows and new lows are forming lower, this would indicate a continuation of the downtrend. Now, however, the market is experiencing the opposite scenario, and the price is trying to stabilize at higher levels. However, another positive development that is noteworthy in this process is that the price is retracing on lower volume while forming this new low. This indicates that the selling pressure is gradually diminishing, and the market is more calmly seeking balance. Especially in uptrends, pullbacks on low volume are interpreted as a positive sign. This is because such pullbacks are usually caused by profit-taking or short-term corrections, not panic selling. This suggests that investors are generally confident about the direction of the price and see the current levels as a buying opportunity. If the price successfully completes this rising bottom formation, an upward move can be expected in the next phase. This could start with a test of the previous high, and if this level is broken, a move towards higher targets becomes quite likely. At this stage, investor psychology is also positively affected because this market structure is seen as reassuring and a strong signal that the trend will continue. This confidence, in turn, allows new buyers to enter the market and existing buyers to maintain their positions. MACD, the Moving Averages Convergence and Divergence Indicator, is considered to be a very powerful and reliable indicator in technical analysis. Widely used to determine the direction and strength of momentum and potential trend changes, this indicator is currently showing a very remarkable and promising outlook. In particular, we can see that the MACD lines are converging and an upward crossover is about to take place. This technical structure could start to give strong signals about the direction of the market. If this expected crossover actually occurs, it could be interpreted as a buy signal, which could be a strong technical trigger for prices to start a new move to the upside. In the current MACD outlook, the distance between the signal line and the MACD line is getting narrower by the day, which may indicate that momentum is preparing to move out of negative territory and into positive territory. This type of upside crossover may indicate that price action in particular is entering a recovery phase after a period of correction. If the MACD line crosses the signal line from below to above, this is called a classic bullish crossover in technical analysis. This crossover indicates that the market is breaking out of a downtrend and that buying is gaining strength. In particular, if traders recognize such signals and reposition, it can trigger an upward wave in the market. Match crossovers are important. Yes, friends. I hope you liked the video. If you subscribe to my channel and like the video, more videos will be coming. Be careful in your investments, analyze the risks correctly, and always take strategic steps. I will be with you with different analyses, investment opportunities, and technical information in my videos. I wish you all a lot of profit. See you soon.